Welcome to Show Me Something Wrong,
where each episode one of us chooses a movie to watch that the other hasn't seen. The movie is often obscure, usually odd, and always wrong. I'm Dave.
And I'm Guy.
And today I've chosen the movie, and it's Duck, the Carbine High Massacre from 1999. Pardon me?
That's the theme song.
Is it?
So wrong!
Alright. I thought you meant the theme song of Duck, the Carbine High Massacre.
Oh, I don't know that theme song.
No, I don't think there is one. Alright, so I said last week that you were probably going to hate this
You know
movie.
what? Can I just cut you off right there? Before we start anything, can I just say, fuck you, Dave, for making me watch this piece of shit movie.
That's alright, you made me watch The Worm Eaters.
I do. I really felt like this was your revenge. I was watching it, I was like, that fucking cunt.
It's interesting though, because I think this is the most culturally fascinating film we will probably ever cover.
Yeah, I can totally already imagine that you have an entire treasure trove of tidbits and fun trivia and behind the scenes greatness for you to tell me, which will probably make me enjoy this film a lot more than I actually did.
Sure.
So I think I'm very much looking forward to hearing all the stuff you do have to tell me.
And you know what? I actually spent a while thinking about whether to actually do this movie or not, because not so much because I thought you would hate it. I knew that you would probably hate it.
Yeah,
that
because
didn't bother me
shit.
too much.
Yeah.
But I was a bit trepidatious just because of the subject matter. It's really fucked. Obviously you can probably tell from the title it's about school shootings. Yeah. And I think the day that I watched this, right before watching it, I'd read an article about a 12-year-old shooting a classmate in a elementary school in America. So it's, for us, it's living now in 2022, the reality of mass shootings in America is so prevalent that it felt a bit, it's an uncomfortable topic.
It is. It is touchy, yeah. But this is about the school shooting, right?
And actually, I think that's important to think about. So this movie is from 1999.
Right.
So let's go back to 1999. I was 14 in 1999. How old were you?
Would have been 11.
11, yeah. So for me, at the age of 14, when the Columbine school shooting happened, so it was April 20th, 1999, 15 kids got killed at Columbine. And it, I don't know what your memories are of that, but I remember it very fucking well. And it really really freaked me out.
Yeah.
And the impact that it had was really shocking. And I think it's easy to forget that now when we're kind of numbed to school shootings.
Oh, they're so tragic, regular. Isn't it? But that changed everything, didn't it? That literally changed everything. But the fact, like you said, I mean, now a school shooting in America is once every few months, and it is it happens, and it's tragic every single time. But you see the news, and it's like, oh fuck, another school shooting in America! Yeah. Holy shit,
we're totally. It's so numbing now. It's so
almost desensitized, which is tragic in itself. Yeah.
But at that time in 1999, it was I don't think it was necessarily the first. I don't know about that, but it was definitely the one that
it was the one that changed it all, didn't it? Yeah.
So let's keep that in mind. That massacre, the real massacre in Columbine, happened in April of 1999. Do you know when this movie came out?
Enlighten me.
1999, same year, October.
Wow.
So basically 6 months after the real shooting, this came out. And, unsurprisingly, it caused a lot of outrage at the time. This I don't think this is a super well-known movie. It's maybe one of the less obscure ones we've done. But, personally, I hadn't heard of it until I blind bought the Blu-ray of it.
So you just found it on a web store and picked it up on a blind buy?
So not Vinegar Syndrome, but a Vinegar Syndrome, what do you call it? Like offshoot company.
Right,
Not offshoot, but like a partner label, sorry.
Right.
They released it, and I just bought it in a sale, not really knowing what it was. And then since then, I've sort of like looked into it. But yeah, at the time when it came out, it did cause quite a lot of, media panic, which is kind of ironic because the film is critiquing the media's reaction to Columbine as well, and then kind of became part of it. And probably the most famous thing about this film, or infamous thing, is the directors were actually arrested.
Oh, wow.
Do you know, have you looked into it at all?
No.
Okay.
I purposely not looked into anything about it. Yeah.
I fucking spent the last, however many days, 4 days, just like watching extra features. I listened to the commentary.
God.
And, I know that you hate this film. I have interesting feelings about this film. I was actually really affected by this film, like quite massively. Even though I agree with you, in a lot of ways it's a shit film, but I think we'll get into it later, but I think there's more to it as well. And I actually couldn't sleep the other night because I couldn't stop thinking about school shootings and like this movie and stuff. But yeah, the directors got arrested, not for the movie itself, but basically a journalist watched the film. He bought it. They were like selling it online, videotapes of it. And this journalist bought it and was like, oh, this film's fucked. And he sent it to the police.
Right.
Because I guess he was just a cunt. Sent it to the police and was like, look at this fucking fucked up thing. And the police noticed that there was a scene shot at an actual school. It's all shot in New Jersey. So shot in a New Jersey school, and they're outside the school and they had real guns.
Did they use real guns for this?
In some scenes, yeah. So the bit where they're taking guns out, they're real guns on a school. So that got sent to the FBI, and the police were like still investigating it. And it was basically all this was happening without the director's knowledge, this investigation into it. And the journalist, this is according to the director, the journalist basically was orchestrated the arrest with the police. Like they were sort of working together. So it could be like this big sort of media thing. How fucked up is that?
That's insane.
So they basically arrested them. And when they were taking the director, or one of the directors out, they were like, the cops were like, by the way, the media's out there. Because it's basically all been,
orchestrated by the media.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
But that's insane to think about. On one hand as well, because it's not illegal to own guns in America. And even if they were thinking, right, these kids have actually brought guns to a school, and they think, well, maybe they're going to incite another school shooting. Even if there was that worry, the evidence is already there that it was clearly made for just the movie. Sure. So why would they need to get the FBI involved and then arrest them? Because obviously it's a movie. You can see the product of why they brought the guns to the school in the first place.
It's actually fascinating to watch. There's the Blu-ray has all of these like kind of news like clips and stuff of the story, and just like the locals getting interviewed. It really kind of captures how panicked people were at that time. Post Columbine, and I guess like still are now, like all these years later. But it's really intense.
So what happened to the directors in the end? Did they did they go to trial? Or
yeah, it went to trial. The judge. There's a lot of fucked up things, but the directors made us. This is all like in the commentary. The directors apparently made a suicide pact, saying if they went to prison, they'd kill themselves. Basically,
brilliant.
Luckily, they didn't go to prison, and the judge gave them like community service or something.
That's nice.
One of them like had to do some community service in a church, and I don't know what the other guy did, but basically they did some community service, and that was it. So ultimately, it was okay. Gave them a lot of publicity, and they just had community service.
Right.
So to get into who the directors are,
yes,
I'll give you a little bit of a backstory.
So can I just ask, are the directors the two main characters in this?
Yes. So the shooters are the directors.
Right.
So it's directed by, I said his name before, I think. Did I? No.
I don't think so.
Fucking hell, I've lost my mind.
Fuck it, we've done it.
Fuck, delete the episode. So it's directed by William Hellfire. I think it's a pseudonym.
Hellfire
and Joey Smack.
Smack.
Yeah, and sadly,
Smack.
Joey Smack, he's the one that kind of looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
He died a couple of years ago.
I saw at the beginning of the film there was like a rest in peace still of him holding a gun, And at first I thought that was a publicity still for the movie.
Right.
But then actually, it seemed to be like, an actual kind of obituary-esque.
He did die.
Do you know of what?
I'm not sure. Like, it's really weird in all the extras. They don't really talk about what happened. I think it was like 2019, so it's not that long ago that he died. But yeah, I'm not really sure. But yeah, so they also star as the shooters as well as directing it. And it's produced by a guy called Pete Jackalone. Okay. Have you ever heard his name before? So he's under a pseudonym for the film, but he's made a whole lot of video stuff in New Jersey as well. And he's responsible for snuff perversions?
I've heard of that, yeah.
So that was like, that fucking tripped me out watching the extras for this. So back in like 2000, there was a clip going around the internet of a woman getting shot in the head and like all this blood bursting out on, like, if you saw it, I think you would recognize it. And it's from the like Snuff Perversions 2 or something. But when I saw it as a kid, it was sort of floating around as if this is a real snuff clip.
Right.
And I was fucking traumatized by seeing it. So when I'm watching, like, I had no idea what it was from until now, watching the extra features.
Right.
And this guy, Peter Jackalone's talking about it. And he also got into trouble with the police over that clip as well. So, yeah, the FBI is really obsessed with shitty 90s shot-on video films.
Well, everyone will remember the guinea pig incident, won't they?
Oh, wait. Oh, like Charlie Sheen reporting it. Yeah. Fuck. I guess that was just the thing to do.
Do the FBI just not have anything better to do than watch, like, shitty B-movies?
Well, the director, apparently, he talks about that, and he said the FBI was like, please just stop making this stuff, because we have to investigate everything that's reported. Right. And all these morons watch it, and they're like, oh, it's a real thing, and report it. But yeah, so this whole film comes from this world of like cheap shot-on video films from New Jersey, kind of specifically. It's from a company called Factory 2000, which was, I think, William Hellfire's company, one of the directors. And he mostly made, before this film, like fetishistic death films, basically.
Oh, wow.
So it'd be like a woman getting strangled or something, and like nothing much else, and he just sort of make it up on the day.
That sounds quite more interesting than the film that I ended up watching. But yeah, because that now, especially now, that whole like fetish horror genre is really big. That's like booming now more than ever. So I guess he was quite early on in the game with that kind of thing. Yeah,
sure. And he must have been really young when he was doing that, because this is kind of pretty well into his career, and it's 99. He was 26 at the time. Right. So yeah, he's very ahead of the curve. But this was like kind of a passion project for him, this film.
Even though it was only 6 months, released 6 months after the...
Yeah. It became the thing that he was very passionate
about.
Right,
I mean...
Yeah, not a long passions
project. Burn bright and fast, I guess.
But it was actually... The producer wanted to make this. Right. So he saw the Columbine thing, and he was like, I want to make a film about it before anyone else does. And apparently had written a script that was basically like Revenge of the Nerds, but with a shooting at the end. I think it was called The Day We Blew Up the School. So it sounds like it was more kind of like comedy focused kind of thing. And he gave it to Hellfire and Joey Smack, and they were like, we don't want to do it this way. We want to make our own kind of thing. And they turned it into the absolute fucking nightmare that it is now.
So nightmare's pretty appropriate.
It's like really like messy, right? It's like, it's so tonally bizarre. Yeah. Which is actually what I like about it. But I know that you're not a fan of that.
I'm quite surprised that they managed to like write or even rewrite a script within just 6 months of the actual incident. It's pretty. I think that's pretty impressive. But then, I mean, and it seemed like they wrote a lot of the dialogue. It didn't seem like anything was like just on the spot made up. They seem to have like actually written a lot of very shit dialogue and skits to put into this really long fucking film, an hour and 40 minutes of absolute bollocks content. But sorry, carry on. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk more about this at the end.
So yeah, I think watching all the extra features, Hellfire is like a pretty interesting guy. I think he was really wound up by like seeing what the media was doing. That's sort of what kind of provoked him into making the film the way it is. Also, one really fascinating thing about the making of this. So I actually read this and I'm like, this can't be true. This must be like a fake fact that someone's put up on IMDb or something. But no, he was in the middle of chemotherapy when he was making this film. That's why he's bald in the film.
Oh shit, really?
And he's acting in the film, he's doing all these like big sort of scenes, and he basically says he was in a kind of haze of like painkillers.
Wow.
And basically completely fucked and exhausted the whole way through making
Interesting.
this.
Because he seemed like the more healthy one out of the two. The guy who died, the longer hair guy,
Napoleon Dynamite
he
guy.
seemed like he was actually sick.
Yeah.
Like, looking at him and the way he held himself and his kind of mannerisms, he seemed like a person who was, like, suffering.
Yeah,
I would not have thought that the other one was the sick one.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, and you know how we both know how exhausting it is to make a film. So the fact that he was basically doing chemotherapy and then coming to the shoot.
Yeah.
And that's the reason there's two directors as well. Because normally he directs stuff himself, but he just couldn't handle it on this film. But yeah, just like a couple more things before we dive into it. Like, so one thing I find interesting about this film is that it's just like this crazy sort of time capsule of not only this whole Columbine thing, but of the New Jersey kind of scene. Do you know what Wave Productions is?
Yeah. You told me about them before, actually.
Yeah. So do you remember what the deal was with them? Like how they operate?
Tell me again.
So it's basically like custom films. So say you're some like weird cunt. And
that's what they call me.
And you want like a film, very specific kind of film made. Like, I don't know, like a mummy. You want to see a mummy strangling someone. Like you want
I do want to see a mummy strangle someone. What do I do?
Basically, you could write into Wave Productions, send your script in and some money, and they'll make the film for you.
Brilliant.
So they basically just made all these fucking crazy films, and these guys are like connected to that scene, acting that stuff. So a lot of the actors in that are from those movies.
Interesting.
And this guy, William Hellfire, he actually recently made a documentary about it. I think it's called Mail Order Murder or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that on the shelves, actually. Yeah.
So I'm really keen to see that. So that's kind of the world they come from. And do you know who Misty Monday is?
I was going to talk about that as well.
So we'll get to her later as well, because that's a real time capsule thing as well.
That was probably the biggest shock. Not the biggest shocker, but the second biggest shocker for me.
So she was William Hellfire's girlfriend at the time.
Oh, wait, he did well.
And so this film was shot for $3,000.
Oh, bloody hell.
Shot over 10 days, I think.
10 days.
Yeah, very fast shoot. And, it's a very cheap film, but it has some, pretty big moments towards the end that, we can get to that later. All right. Should we actually get into the film
Let's get
itself?
in. So the first thing, I'm just going to jump in. The first thing is that there's a title card, a disclaimer, if you will. And it's essentially apologizes for the making of the film in a way.
Edgelordy.
It is. And it's like, well, this was going to be made into a movie anyway, or even worse, a TV movie. So we did it first. So it's like, sorry, not sorry. Fuck you, watch our movie. And I was like, okay, all right, here we go. And just by that first disclaimer, I thought, okay, so these guys, first and foremost, put them ahead of the made-for-TV movies. Because that was a specific point they made, or even worse, a made-for-TV movie. The fact that they made this and specifically said that means that they think they're better than any made-for-TV movie. Don't know if I would agree with that. Because I've seen some great made-for-TV movies, and this was a load of shit. So first and foremost, we get a disclaimer, and then we cut to title cards. So there's these sporadic title cards of Bible. What are they? Chapters? I don't know. Books?
We get some Cain and Abel stuff at the beginning, and then there's basically just single word titles that come up. Apparently, according to the commentary.
Ooh.
Which I endured. That was a bit rough. The titles were inspired by El Topo.
Right,
the Jodorowsky film. But they I don't know, to me they seemed kind of random. I didn't think
they were very irrelevant. I'm not a fan of the title card whole thing.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest. I think I've never really seen it done well.
I enjoyed them in Antichrist, Von Trier's Antichrist. I thought they kind of worked well because the it's very much split into the 3 parts, and you have those 3 title cards. But this film was just a long-running, like, shit. You know, like when you get a shit that just doesn't drop off and it just keeps on going and going and going? This is what this film was. There was no need to, like, cut it with title cards. Carry on, sorry.
All right, so after we get those titles, we dive into basically the, like, mid-attack or aftermath of the attack or
we get, like, a flash forward, don't we?
Yeah, so we're sort of seeing all these students that have been shot, a teacher that's dying, and it's, like, instantly ridiculous. Like, got some bad wigs, the acting's way over the top. They call up 911, and there's, like, this ridiculous, like, kind of nondescript Euro lady answers the phone, has terrible English. According to the commentary, like, the director claims that that's her real accent.
Fuck off, is it?
No, I was like, that is not. But, like, throughout that, the director's like, you sure that's her real accent? They just keep coming back to that. There's no fucking way that is her real accent. But anyway, like, so the kids that are, you know, being attacked, they're calling up 911. The 911 person just sort of, you know, basically fobbed it off.
She's like, what are you getting high?
Yeah. Not believing what's happening. And I feel like from this moment, it's like, what the fuck is this? Because it's this kind of crazy, like, jarring juxtaposition of, like, these kind of serious things, like a fucking school shooting happening, and then this kind of ridiculous 911 operator. It's crazy. And I think part of it comes from, like, Hellfire and Smack wanted to do something more serious and edgy or something. And then the producer, this Pete Jackalone, he was also filming stuff as well. So that is his scene, that operator scene. So that's why it's so fucking jarring. God. You got these things coming together.
Yeah, that scene, like, you got the teacher who's going, kids, just calm down. And then there's his like scream into the air, why? With the camera zooming into his face. And the crazy, like, European phone operator. And I was like, wait, so this is a comedy, which was my first, like, what the fuck moment. Wait, so they made a comedy of the school shootings.
Yeah. It's quite unbelievable. And they talk about that they wanted it to be a comedy to sort of deliberately make it kind of, you know, upsetting, to make it more, like, offensive, basically. So they are deliberately, like, stoking the fire, basically.
Sure. And then we cut to the credits.
Yeah, so the credits, like these sort of Super 8 kind of footage.
That was when I saw the Misty Monday name.
Yeah, so
I was like, what? Wait, hang on, Misty Monday's in this? Are you fucking kidding me?
What's your experience with Misty Monday?
I mean, she's like the go-to for just, like, sexploitation trash, in, you know, essentially. And she's been in loads of Beelzebub's movies.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Dick Shark.
She's in Dick Shark. But I was like, holy shit, there's actually a name in this that I recognize. That was very much...
At this point, was she a name, do you think? I don't know. I can't really remember when her sort of peak was. Maybe it was, like, just after this?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not that too familiar with Misty Monday, but
it is a real blast from the past, right?
It is. And it is definitely a name that I was not expecting to be associated with this.
Well, there you go. The director's girlfriend. That's why she's in it.
Good on him.
Yeah. So we get the title card, another one saying April 1999. So the scene. We see a suburban house, zoom in on the basement, hearing some kind of Marilyn Manson-esque kind of music playing.
I just wrote it down as shit music. My notes are opening, shit music, war geeks, army helmets, Hitler poster. That's all I wrote.
There's a lot of Hitler paraphernalia in this. So we meet our two shooters, and the film only focuses on these guys as, like, sort of real characters, basically. So we have Derwin, who is the, you know, William Hellfire, the guy that had cancer at the time, so he's bald. And we've got Derek, the one that looks like Napoleon Dynamite. And they're in this basement kind of room, surrounded by all this Nazi paraphernalia, which is it's very, like, it makes me very uncomfortable seeing any like Nazi stuff.
What are you talking about? You got a swastika flag on your wall here.
Let's not bring that up. Oh boy, oh god. Yeah, so they're online.
Yeah.
I love all the internet stuff in this, and they're ordering a nuclear missile
from China. Or
from China, yeah. Derwin's parents interrupt, and they're like these ridiculous, like over the top, ultra American kind of parents,
super supportive of their kids.
Yeah.
Loved it.
The mum also kind of looks the same age as the kids.
Yeah.
And so we've got this I think the father describes himself as a supporting, loving father. He's a self-described supporting, loving father. And, he's saying like, oh, the principal's been, complaining about a violent thing that you wrote, but they kind of just believe everything that Doan says.
They think they have the golden child, don't they?
Yeah. Then Derek, the Napoleon Dynamite looking guy, he starts talking about his dad. I don't know if this felt like a line that would resonate with you, but he talks about like how nice the parents are, and he mentions catching his dad masturbating to titty movies. No one says titty movies.
Titty movies. Yeah, there was so much dialogue in this, and it was quite exhausting listening to all of it.
There is.
I did try to note some like very memorable quotes down.
Yeah.
But it's just relentless.
Yeah.
It's relentless. I gave up.
It's a very talky film.
But yeah, so they're playing this shitty music, which just sounds like absolute bollocks. And I know you're a bit of a metal guy yourself, Dave.
Fuck off. You're the metal one.
You're the fucking metal. Anyway, but this music, it was just saying like kill, 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 kill over and over again. And that's the dad's like, he's like, I wish you just wouldn't play this music so loud, right? It's going kill, kill, and the mum's like, I don't think it's that loud.
I could be wrong as well, but I think in the commentary they talk about that track,
right?
And that song that drives the dad crazy later on. So I think that's when we first hear it, right? I think it's recorded by the director William Hellfire and Misty Monday.
Right.
Yeah, they recorded it together.
Awesome.
Yeah. So he's a musician. He was in like a bunch of punk bands.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so after this first scene, even though these parents are like sort of initially we see him as this like ultimate kind of happy American parent kind of thing, right after that, the music, that song that you just mentioned, drives the dad crazy.
What's wrong?
It's that music.
And he starts beating up the mother. And it's really fucking kind of fucked, that scene, but also outrageously silly.
Insane. He's in the kitchen and the music's going kill, 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 and it's like this brainwash. It starts smacking his head against the cupboard, and then the mum comes over. What does she say?
I can't remember.
And then he just like
she's like, oh, you need your aspirin or something.
Yeah.
She's like that. It's really fucked up, but kind of very slapstick.
That was one of the more enjoyable scenes for me. Right. I thought, yeah.
So then after this scene, we have, I feel like this must be the scene you hate the most. We cut to outside of school, and we've got a group of kind of deliberately kind of generic and ridiculous kind of stereotype kids. We've got some jocks and stuff playing basketball.
Yeah.
The scene goes for a long time.
It's just relentless.
There's a few things to note. People that we meet. We meet a wheelchair kid.
It's the stereotypes. It's all the stereotypes of the school,
So
isn't
we got
it?
jocks.
Token black guy.
Yeah, and their names. So they don't have names.
Right.
The wheelchair guy, and like I know this is a word we don't want to say, but this is in the movie. The wheelchair kid's name is Retard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The black kid's name is Afro-American.
Afro-American, right?
That's how he's credited at the end. And we've also got, a bunch of other very
Misty
generic...
Monday is Bible Girl, right?
Bible Girl, that's right. So yeah, the Afro-American, as his character is actually called, he just basically constantly comments on how shit everyone is. Yeah. He's kind of the hero of the movie.
I quite liked him.
Yeah, he's really good.
He was like, I hate white people.
Yeah. So at one point he wears a shirt that says, I hate white people. Apparently that was the shirt that he owned.
No
That was
way.
his own shirt. And he was like a comedian at the time.
Wow.
I actually looked him up. He's like still doing comedy now.
Awesome.
But he's probably, other than maybe Misty Monday, he's probably the best thing about the movie, I would say. So we meet Misty Monday, who's like this Christian Bible girl, and she's just desperate to get people to like come to this youth group meeting.
Yeah.
Which they make a very big deal about, ultimately is very unimportant to the plot.
God, fuck's sake. It's like, I feel like they got permission from a band that they were probably mates with to film them, and they wrote it into the story so goddamn deep that they had Misty Monday just go on about it non-stop for the first 40 minutes of the film.
Also, one thing on Misty Monday, a lot of people got death threats after this film. So a lot of the names that you see in the titles are not their real names.
Okay.
She got a lot of death threats after this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I found a lot of conflicting quotes from her about this film. Some saying how much she thinks it's a piece of shit, and then other ones like really defensive of it. In the extra features and like news articles, she's like always defending it. But I don't know what her actual.
Does she actually appear like in person, like doing video interviews or anything in the extra features?
Not new ones. So these are like old news reports and stuff from '99. So I don't know what her actual opinion of this is. All these shitty kids are around playing fucking basketball. Goes for a really long time. It's very exhausting. And then Darren and Derwick. Derwick? Darren and Derek? Derwick. Darren and Derek show up, and they're in these sort of classic, Columbine-looking trench coats. Yeah. And they're baggy clothes. So you were quite young at that time, but do you remember the whole trench coat thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, for me, like, this film was like kind of confronting to watch. Like, I know it's like a silly film, but it was genuinely pretty full on to see that kind of imagery, like, and have that sort of rush back to me. Do you want to take the bullying scene? Do you remember that part?
I remember from this scene. So you had the wheelchair guy, and he was always there, and everyone just kept wheeling him off. Do you remember that? Yeah. So he kept kind of wanting to play basketball and talk to people, and they just kept like kind of wheeling him away. That was the main thing I took away from that scene. What was the bullying scene?
Yeah, so basically the basketball bullies, they all start bullying
the two guys, right? Yeah.
And Derek, yeah.
And then he kind of comes back with the smart aleck response and then walks away.
He's like, what is it? Like, he wonders why the jock's mother didn't get an abortion.
Oh, that's right. That's like right. That. And the jock's like, what did he say? And his friend says, like, I think he said your mother is a fat cunt and you're a cocksucking crack whore.
Yeah, very strange.
And he's like, what the fuck? I'm going to get that guy.
And thus begins their hatred of each other.
I think by this point, I was like, already think, I fucking hate Dave so much for making me watch this piece of shit. And then we go to like the IT class.
Oh man!
Fucking hell! Everything is excruciating in this film.
It's like, for me, it's excruciating but also fascinating because it is such an amazing time capsule of this time. But we're in this like ridiculous fucking class, and I don't know, man. There was stuff in this I found pretty funny, though. Like, the wheelchair kid who has, like, a propeller hat on. Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. Apparently, all the actors brought their own costumes, so he owns that propeller hat, I guess. So he's wearing that propeller hat, and he's giving a speech about Dark Star.
Dark Star, yeah.
The John Carpenter film.
Yes. I enjoyed that part, yeah.
Did you wish you were watching that instead of this?
100%.
And it's basically this class where they're giving speeches about the internet.
This doesn't make any sense.
And all the comments about the internet are so great because they're so like 99 when no one was really sure what the fucking internet was all about. Yeah. The teacher says, the internet has many aspects in our lives. Which I don't think is even...
What does that even mean?
Grammatically, does that even make sense? And another quote, he says, the computer is the best invention of all mankind.
The internet is this powerful tool. It shows how well America is progressing.
Excellent. Magnificent. The computer is the best invention of all mankind.
Do you remember what the Afro-American, as he's called, character says?
No.
The internet is for white folk. I have written in my notes as well, excruciating scene. It was excruciating.
One of many.
Yeah.
But then the following scene kind of sparked my attention a little bit. I mean, you have a guy in a raincoat, and some guy we don't see his face, we never do, but he approaches our two main characters, and he says, "What are you doing wearing trench coats?" Right? And that's it. That's all he says to them.
Yeah. He's like, "You're making it too obvious," or something.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of he's kind of warning them.
Yeah.
Or something. And
by this point, we had already been subjected to so much ridiculous bullshit. I was like, wait, is he from the future? Is he? I literally thought he's from the future, and he's like warning them because, well, only 6 months in this timeline of this movie's life, you know, from realization to completion. Yeah. I thought maybe he came from 6 months later and warned them of the troubles that come with wearing trench coats to schools.
Well, this guy, so I don't know why he warns them about the trench coats. I can't answer that question for you. I'm sorry. But this guy, because I was like, what the fuck is this character? So he's like a janitor at the school. We see him a few times. So apparently this was connected to conspiracy theories at the time.
Right.
About Columbine, that there was a third shooter. So he's meant to be like the third guy that's in on it. So it's just like a conspiracy theory thing. But with all that time past, you know, like it's fucking 2022, I don't remember all the conspiracy theories about Columbine. So it just feels really strange and very oddly out of place.
It's extremely out of place.
But then again, most things feel out of place in this film.
It's terrible. It's terrible. So our next scene, we're back in the boys' room.
The boys.
And the package that they ordered from China has arrived.
And what's in that package?
A ridiculous cartoon-like bomb. They're like, oh, it's from China. It looks like some shitty Chinese written on the box in like marker pen. And they pull it out and pull out like this massive like warhead type thing, and it's like the size of a, I don't know, like a baguette.
And then they have it like set up as well.
Yeah, so they pull out the top of this rocket, and it's like, oh great, there's a rocket. It's like a bomb, and then we cut to outside when it's been like assembled, and it's fucking massive. They like zoom out, and it's this massive, ridiculous, like 2-story high rocket that they bought from China that arrived in this cardboard box.
It's actually a pretty impressive prop. It feels like really out of place, like for how low budget this film is. So what happens when they light up this nuclear bomb?
So that's it. So they're in a field, and we have this massive fucking rocket type thing. They light it, run for cover, and we cut to stock footage of a rocket just like blasting through space or something. And then we cut back to our main two guys, who then get showered with a very
some leaves,
a very light bit of shrapnel, leaves, and a bit of mud, and they're like, fuck, it was a dud.
Kind of impressive for a dud.
Well,
right?
that's it. I was like, what was it supposed to do? It flew through space. It seems pretty fucking good, considering it was stock footage from NASA or something.
And they ordered it from
China,
like a shitty website.
A disassembled like rocket from China. And they were like, oh, it was a dud, let's go home. I was like, well, what was this supposed to do?
It's like another scene that is like, you know, why is it in this film?
Yes,
really.
There was far too many of them.
Most scenes were that, but that's also part of the experience, I would argue, of this film that makes it what it is.
Okay.
So we get another scene that's again totally irrelevant ultimately to the plot, but I fucking love this next bit where we get this kid that we've not met. I don't even know if you might not have even written anything down for this because it's so irrelevant.
Oh,
we cut to another
one. Yeah.
And there's just a kid talking to his parents, and then I gotta be honest, I didn't notice this the first time I watched it, but all the parents are played by the same actors.
Are they?
Did you not realize it?
No.
So I don't know why, but I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, oh man, these actors all look so similar, it's hard to tell them apart. Every parent in this is played by the same two actors.
Brilliant.
Pretty funny. That's quite funny.
I quite like that.
Yeah, so there's all these different forms of parents. So, like, we later see Derek's, like, drunk stepdad. That's the same actor as the sort of wholesome dad that gets driven crazy by the music. So, yeah, we see this random kid and, like, these... Yeah, like, his parents in the lounge room, or living room or whatever, and they give him advice. Do you remember what the advice was?
No.
So this kid that we haven't met, their advice is, don't tell anyone anything.
What?
He's like, all right, Dad. And that's it.
Brilliant. Okay.
Baffling. The kid walks out, and then this is where it's kind of confusing, because then we get Derwin's dad, who gets driven crazy by the music, is driving.
That's it. He's in the car again.
And for some reason, he's listening to that kill. And he nearly hits this random kid that we've just met.
Grown to know and love.
Yeah. This kid that... I don't even think we really see him much later on.
Was he not one of the jocks?
He was, but I feel like he was one of the side jocks. He's not like a memorable jock in any way, so it's very confusing. Anyway, we go back to basketball.
Oh my god, this fucking scene! Jesus Christ. Sorry.
No, go on.
So we're back to the basketball court with another ton of unnecessary shit dialogue with shitty characters. And now we have Guitar Girl. I don't know if that's her name, but that's what I called her.
Yeah, I think Song Girl. That's
her name, Song Girl.
Song Girl.
So Wheelchair, like, rolls up to this girl who just has a guitar, and he's like, oh, hey, is that a guitar? It's like, yes, of course it's a fucking guitar. And
hey, come on, mate. He's a simple guy. He doesn't know things.
And so then she plays some shitty song, because that's what she does. That's her entire character.
Incredibly shitty.
Yeah. What were the lyrics for that? It was just like...
Oh, fuck me, I don't know.
It was all just like, oh, it's okay to be yourself because you're fantastic as who you are. It's all that kind of shit.
It's an utterly fucked song.
They say that you're different. They say you aren't cool. But you still are a person, and that is all that matters.
Oh my god.
But then Derwin shows up by himself, so he's not with Derek.
Yes.
Or Derwick, whatever I called him before. And the jock bullies start beating him up. Yeah. And it's fucked. Like, it's really fucked, this scene. And watching it for the second time, it's really... This scene, to me, kind of really captures how bonkers and wrong this film is. Because... it's really, really, really violent. And but the stuff that they're saying is crazy. So they're like saying they're gonna gang rape him. And like we'll go from like, we're gonna gang rape you, to a scene where someone's saying, I'm gonna run over your hamster. Like, and that's within the same scene.
Brilliant.
So they're like beating him up. He gets blood on... Oh, yeah, one of the jocks is like a car nerd.
Yeah, with his really shitty car.
Yeah, furious about blood getting on the car.
It's not even a good car.
Yeah.
It's not like the Mad Fox's car.
Yeah,
It's like the shittiest, like, second-hand piece of crap.
And they beat the shit out of him. They smash a basketball in his head. And then just when you think it's over, it goes to this fucking ridiculous, like, level where we've had this really violent, really grim kind of scene... despite all that kind of ridiculous dialogue. And then, like, one of them just goes, it's time for surgery.
Yeah, that was fucked.
And then what happens there?
So he gets, like, surgery gloves on?
It's wild.
And gets given a scalpel.
This is one of the jocks, right?
Yeah, one of the jocks.
Like, gloves on, he's getting a scalpel.
Like, literally, he gets prepped for surgery whilst our main character is in a bloodbath after being beaten to a pulp. And they, like, pull up his shirt and start carving into his abdomen, right? And we don't really see it be carved, but that was definitely not what I was expecting. It's like that Last House on the Left Krug scene,
that's
right?
what inspired it. So
yeah.
the director, it's one of his favorite movies, apparently. So
that makes sense.
So they carve in freak on his stomach, right? It's both. Yeah, like this ridiculous moment of this jock putting on these gloves and the mask.
Yeah.
And then it's just really fucked and violent. So weird. I hear a lot of people, if you read a lot of reviews of this, they're like comparing it to Trauma and stuff. This is not fucking like Trauma.
I mean, I can totally understand the comparison.
But it isn't. Like, to me, it's like, it's not. It's like on another level of insanity. Like, Trauma makes sense to a degree. This doesn't. Nothing in this makes any sense at all.
But I gotta say, the cherry on top of this scene. So after the guy gets absolutely beaten to a bloody pulp, he gets freak carved into his abdomen with a scalpel. The absolute cherry on top is Wheelchair.
Yes. So everyone else starts joining in on the beating. Yeah. Misty Monday smashes him up. Some other people, and then what does Wheelchair?
He runs him over. Oh, Wheelchair runs him over. He's like, help me.
Oh man, yeah, and yeah. So then I think the janitor appears again.
Oh, the guy from in my books, the future.
Yeah, Future Man or Third Shooter.
He helps him,
shows
doesn't
up,
he?
and he's like, "It's time." Yeah.
So that's it. He says it's time. So it was almost if like the prophecy was made, foretold during that moment.
Yeah.
Which is why I was like, he's from the future.
Right. Well, there you go. It's a good reading of it.
I mean, he's not, but...
He could be.
Oh,
Alright, so then we again take after this really violent kind of long scene, we then take a break to just some school fucking nonsense with the jocks all rambling to each other, talking about really rotten stuff, talking about fucking underage girls, and then some goths. There's like other goths, right, at the school. There's these extra kind of goth characters that are all right, and they like show up and they beat these goths up. One of the jocks says, "We're the coolest kids in school," which I thought was just a
good on you.
Funny line.
You say that though, but there's literally like 7 kids in this school.
Yeah, we don't see too many people until the end, where we see a bunch of new characters that we've never met before. So anyway, a scene that doesn't really have much to do with anything. And then we see Derek hanging out, reading a lovely little bit of, lunchtime reading. What, do you remember what he's reading?
He's reading Mein Kampf, isn't he?
Mein Kampf, yeah. And apparently so this is the actor-director, apparently he was actually reading it at the time.
Oh.
So he was like, please don't destroy the whole book, because in the scene it gets fucked up.
I'm only on chapter 3.
So he's like reading Mein Kampf while he's watching Wheelchair Kid really struggling to drink water.
Yeah.
This also goes for quite a while. In this bit I was like, I've got a note that says like, man, Derek really looks like Napoleon Dynamite. So it's very, very strange to see Napoleon Dynamite reading Mein Kampf. We also see Misty Monday in this scene. The principal of the school is talking to her and he's getting all like horny about her.
She's recruiting people for her Bible class again.
Yeah.
She's literally got like one fucking dimension throughout this entire film.
But I think that's kind of the point though for all these characters. There's nothing else to them.
No.
They're just what their character is. Oh, I forgot to mention when he's reading Mein Kampf, the black kid comes up and rips up his Mein Kampf. And he's wearing at that time the shirt that says, "I hate white people." He's the best character by far.
I didn't notice it during that scene. I noticed it during the following scene where they're in the internet class again. And it's like he gets up and leaves and you kind of see it from like a corner side. And I was like, holy shit, he's wearing a shirt that says, "I hate white people" on the back. It's like, that's fucking great.
His actual shirt.
It doesn't focus on it. Yeah. You kind of see it from afar or at like a slightly obscured angle. And just that subtleness was pretty brilliant.
Great. Yeah, we go back to that internet class, right? And Derwin is not there because he's had the shit beaten out of him.
Before you start there, there's another song from Song Girl.
Oh, yeah. The Ode to the Internet.
Ode to the... Oh, I gotta get this... Yeah, singing how much she loves the internet.
To be fair, her character is very realistic, I would argue. to every fucking school has someone like that. Some dickhead with a fucking acoustic guitar that wants to pull it out and sing you a song when you don't want to hear a song.
I hate people that carry guitars with them.
Oh, me too.
They are the worst.
Everyone fucking hates them.
They
but
are the scum of the earth.
She's an accurate representation of that person.
Yeah.
And we have to endure it through this movie, but it's realistic, I would say. But, like, clearly that actress has never played a guitar before, which kind of makes it funny.
Or sung before. Why was she chosen to be the singer girl?
Which kind of makes it funnier, in my opinion.
In your opinion, yeah, sure.
So Derek has to give his speech by himself without Doan. He scrawls on the whiteboard incomprehensibly almost how to make an atom bomb.
Yeah.
And everyone is fucking shocked by this not that shocking thing that he's written on the whiteboard. And the teacher fails him because Doan wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, you should have fucking failed Guitar Girl or Song Girl. And Dark Star guy.
Yeah, I like
Can't
Dark
just
Star.
fail someone because their like partner's not there to give a speech.
So he goes back to old the other guy, the Baldy, who got beaten up. So sorry,
Yeah, he's going through chemotherapy.
I like no disrespect, but I didn't remember their names, and
Derwin.
I noted them
Come on,
down.
show him some respect.
No,
Derwin.
I noted them down as Baldy and Hairy.
It's a good way to distinguish.
So Harry went to Baldy's because he doesn't know what's happened. He just hasn't turned up for class, and he has found Baldy beaten to a bloody pulp. And that's when they make like their pact.
I know that you're not a fan of this movie, and that's fine. But I do think these two guys, I think the interactions they have are really, for me, quite powerful. Because there is a realness to the way they talk to each other.
Yes.
And it's kind of... To me, it's almost like predating a kind of mumblecore kind of thing, like the way they talk to each other. And it's not improvised. None of this stuff. It's all scripted, but it feels quite real. And like I know from like watching all these extra features that the director and like both of the directors like kind of felt this way about their high school days as well. So there is a realness to this.
Their scenes interacting together were definitely the most real thing and the most enjoyable thing. Like, you did totally believe their dialogue together.
Yeah.
It was good.
So they're together. He's all smashed up, big swastika in the background. And yeah, as you say, they make their pact basically saying they don't want to be on the planet anymore. They're talking about suicide. And they, start to hatch their plan of pipe bombs, guns, and things like that. They also reference bowling.
Do not remember that.
Yeah, I just thought that was like oh boy, they're really going for the Columbine thing here. Because the Columbine guys went bowling before murdering everyone, basically, yeah.
I made a note, and I don't remember what it was in reference to, but in this scene, I made a note that just says cream for battered wives.
Oh, yeah, so, like, Derwin's been beaten up, right? And he's using this, like, soothing cream. And he references it being... Like, it's made for battered wives.
That's right.
There's a lot of jokes in this that are, obviously it's like real edgelord kind of stuff, but it's kind of also, like, it's of the time. It's fucking so 1999 that I kind of love it as well. So we go into, finally we get to see the Christian youth scene that Misty Monday, the whole movie, she's been trying to get people to come to a Christian youth meeting, and, she shows up to this venue, announces the band. Today is the Day is the name of the band. They're a pretty well-known band.
Yeah.
And it's not a Christian band, though.
No.
It's kind of I don't even know how to describe it.
They're kind of like noise rock grindcore band, aren't they?
So her reaction to them playing is just vomiting instantly.
Yeah.
And so the gig is... And this whole youth meeting thing is totally, not important to the plot at all. But Derwin and... Fuck, their names are difficult to
Harry
to
and
say.
Baldy.
Harry and Baldy. They're showing up to this gig basically because I guess at this venue, someone is like, in the floor above selling guns and all kinds of other stuff. So they show up to the venue and they're there to buy guns, basically.
That's right. Now, whilst we're still on the topic of the band... So that completely flopped. That was the most shocking part of the whole film for me.
Really? Why?
The band. Well, the band, Today's the Date. Like, that's a band that is not a shitty, unknown local band. They are a relatively well-known band. But not just that. When I saw the drummer, I was like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
That is not him.
Because what band is he from?
He's the Mastodon drummer.
Yeah. He's a Grammy winner.
Yes.
This movie has a Grammy winning
which is absolutely insane. I watched it, and then I was like, wait, that's the fucking Mastodon drummer.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it can't be. I rewind and watched it. I was like, it cannot be him. Looked it up. Yes, the Mastodon drummer, Grammy-winning band drummer, is in this movie, which is just insane.
Pretty nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm actually kind of interested to check out like what the director's bands are like. Because he was friends with all those guys and sort of part of that sort of scene.
Right.
And that is pretty nuts, right?
That floored me. That was the most surprising thing of this whole film for me.
Yeah, it's Misty. So that number one, and then Misty Monday.
Number two. Yeah. Mastodon guys in this film. Fuck.
And perhaps some of the lines of the next scene is perhaps the third most shocking thing.
I think like by this point I was so desensitized to shit dialogue that it didn't really have much effect on me. But yeah, basically they've met with this guy who is held up in the venue, maybe a back room or something.
Yeah.
And he's a kind of like drug kingpin, whatever you want. He has everything that you want to buy under the counter kind of type character, right? Yeah.
I hated this character so fucking much. So basically, he's like, all right, let me guess why you're here. You want nose candy, huh? Oh, no, you don't want that. Oh, you want pussy, do you, huh? And then he brings in like this woman with like a mask, like ski mask on.
Yeah.
That was Misty Monday, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so she's like topless in the scene, has like a face
like a
mask
balaclava
on.
or something on, yeah.
And then he says a line that I honestly don't even want to say on the podcast.
Oh, you should definitely say it, Dave.
I don't want to say it.
You should say it.
I actually felt uncomfortable writing this because I was worried I'd get arrested. But he said, like the government's spying on me would read this. Yeah, this is a direct quote. Should I say it, or do you want to say it?
You go ahead.
All right. Fuck you. He's like, this criminal guy says, you ever fuck a 12-year-old cunt?
That's horrible.
Yeah.
And I think the Misty Monday character is supposed to be the 12-year-old girl in that film. Yeah, so they have this like chained, half-naked girl with a ski mask like on top of her head, who's supposed to be a 12-year-old girl for sale.
Yeah, it's just grim.
It's horrible.
It's grim and really dumb as well. Yeah. Grim and dumb. And then Derek just like replies really casually. He's like, "Oh no, we're gonna kill our fellow classmates tomorrow and then off ourselves."
Yeah,
which I thought was quite funny. And then we get the worst scene, in my opinion, the worst thing I fucking hated.
I quite like this scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, tell us about the scene.
So basically, he's offered them the drugs. They said no. He's offered them the pussy. They said no. And he's like, we want the guns. He's like, oh, why didn't you say so? So now we have like almost this shopping channel-esque advertisement.
I can't believe this is the bit you
So you have these like naked women with balaclavas like posing with guns with like this disco lights flashing, and it's like, oh, over here we have model number 12 holding the latest Beretta number whatever, what the fuck it is, and they're just like watching it as if you would watch a shopping channel. And I actually thought that was quite fun.
I fucking hated that.
It was great.
I thought it was so exhausting. I think it was also because I hated that guy so much. It really irritated me, that creepy pedo-y guy. But yeah, the scene just like, it goes, worse than that though. So like they buy the guns and then that should be the end of the fucking scene, right? Mm-hmm. But it keeps going.
Oh yeah, they bring out
the guy like just keeps talking and rambling, just bullshit, and like all this sort of like 12-year-old girl stuff, and like she's like in a cage, and it's just like, what the fuck? It just goes for so long.
Is that just like you said before, like just like edgelord nonsense?
Yeah,
it's like trying to be edgy. It's like, oh, she's 12-year-old, she's in a cage. Like, all right, we've already seen the scene. Shut the fuck up. He just goes on and on and on about it.
That is one thing. Even though I think more positively about this film, but there is stuff where I'm like, I wish I could just like edit this film and cut it to maybe like 80 minutes, and then I think you could get rid of a lot of that sort of crap and still retain the kind of madness of it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. This was far too long, and I'm gonna make a note now that we are only 1 hour into the movie,
and we're still getting to the most important stuff as well, right?
I think at this point I moved from beer to whiskey. This is when I text you.
Yeah, you was like...
I was like, this...
that cracked me up. I got a message from you just saying, like, yeah, I'm gotta go to whiskey now.
Oh, God, this was a pain to endure. Yeah.
Better than worm eaters, I would argue.
Nope.
Okay, so after they've bought all the guns, we get a scene I thought was pretty great where they're, like, pulling out all the guns and sort of prepping for it. And again, like all the scenes where it's just them are quite, I'd say, I'd argue a little bit powerful, these scenes. Like they just work really well together. And there's like a really weird moment where they're talking about African Americans having different colored brains.
Yeah.
And it's like something they read in a racist pamphlet. And there's this like, I don't know, there's like a weird gentleness to them about the way they talk about all these fucked up things that's kind of, yeah, I don't know, it's like I kind of like it. It's weird.
That was weird. Yeah, they have different colored brains. That I was not expecting that, but the way they speak to each other, like you said, is very soft and very genuine.
Yeah, and apparently that racist pamphlet stuff is a real thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, apparently some fucking morons actually put out pamphlets that said that exact thing.
That's quite fucked up.
Yeah, very fucked up. So then we see Misty Monday with her parents. That was a pretty fun scene. So we see her sort of Bible, like, quoting parents with her, and they're, like, reading stuff out of a Bible while all this absolutely demented music's playing in the background.
Oh, it's such a beautiful phrase right here. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot.
We see one of the jocks at home. Do you remember this bit? This is great, this scene.
This was great. This was actually enjoyable. This was fantastic.
Tell us about it.
Spam!
So what happens in the scene? We see one of the jocks with another jock is like over at his house.
Yeah,
to have dinner.
So the mum, so the mum, she keeps giving her son Spam for dinner, and he fucking loves it. Yeah. And his mum comes out in boxing gloves. She's like high on life wearing boxing gloves. Yeah, it's your fucking Spam, and he loves fucking Spam. But the other kid, he's looking at him just like, what the fuck, you eat Spam? And the jock's like, if you tell anyone that I eat Spam, I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah. It's like this like taboo subject that you can't eat fucking Spam.
It's great.
Which is insane. I loved it. I loved the energy of that scene. The mum in it was amazing.
That Spam jock, he's actually really good throughout the film. He gives like a really real feeling performance. Also, I love that he's like, if you fucking tell anyone I eat Spam, I'll fucking kick your ass. But then later on, he just like is talking about Spam. It's great.
It kind of reminds me of last week we did Worm Eaters and the whole like hot dogs conversation.
Yeah. It's the same kind of level of madness.
It's like, where did that even come from? And why was it necessary?
Yeah. It's awesome.
But that's not the last time they mentioned Spam.
Yeah. We also get Derwin talking to his parents.
So this is where we're basically leading up to the kids going to school.
Yeah.
So they're saying their goodbyes to their parents, essentially.
I actually really love the scene. So, Derwin says goodbye to his parents. He has those kind of, like, loving parents that are also, beating the shit out of each other as well. But then we have Derek talking to his mum who we've not met. The sort of drunk mum. And I don't know, I found this scene, like, really oddly emotional, even though it's, like, kind of fucking dumb as well, like everything is in this film. But he's, talking to his drunk mum, and he just basically says to her, like, I don't hate you and I'm going to kill myself at school today. And she just doesn't even register it. I don't know. I just found that, like, I don't know, it was really fucked, but kind of great as well. Yeah. There's moments in this that are very oddly affecting for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then we also just see the stepdad doing something really fucked with a cat right after that.
Is he cooking?
He's like got a cat in a pot and then he smashes it up. Yeah. But it's so dumb, like the way it's shot, that it's like, it's not really offensive because it's so fucking stupid.
Like reanimator kind of like dead cat stuff.
Yeah. So then now we're into so we've had this build up and now we get into the shooting.
70 fucking minutes in, finally. I feel bad for saying finally, like finally we're at the scene where they massacre the school kids. But it's like, this is the sole reason for this film to be made.
Yeah.
And for them to drag it out for 70 minutes before they even get to the school shoot, like, holy shit. So yeah, finally, we're 70 minutes in, the school massacre starts.
So they arrive at the school, Derwin and Derek, in their trench coats. And I think the shot that we're seeing here is the one they got arrested for. Where they're taking the guns out, and you see like the school buses in the background, and all the kind of shots around this point, because they're like at an actual elementary school in New Jersey. So yeah, that's why they got arrested for that sort of stuff. So meanwhile, while they're taking all these guns out, everyone's in this canteen eating a really disgusting looking lunch.
And the jock's eating spam, right?
Yeah. He's got the spam, and like, I love that because he's like, he's open about it at this point, even though he got really angry about like people, like the other guy mentioning that he eats spam.
Yeah.
We've also got a lot of like just random new characters in this scene because I guess we're going to get a massacre. So you said before there's only 7 people at this school that we've met before, but now suddenly they're like, we've got all these extra people. So they start to approach the school, and one of the kind of 7 kids that we've seen, she's known as Musical Girl. We haven't talked about her at all. Very irrelevant to the film.
She needs to die quick. Yeah.
So they shoot her, and like her hair flies off. Did you notice that?
No.
I don't know. I was very confused by that. I'm not really sure what it was meant to be, like a wig or something. But yeah, like they shoot her and like her hair flies off.
Right. I didn't even register that.
Yeah, but they like throw a bomb into the school, and someone says a line that I didn't understand at all. I don't know if it's just because it's too much time has passed and it was like a reference to something at the time. But someone, after they hear the sound of something blowing up in the canteen, someone says, "Someone threw another Armenian in the shitter." And everyone laughs for a long time.
Another M80 in the shitter.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, it's an M80. Like,
I think the subtitle said Armenian.
That's wrong. You watched it with subtitles?
I did.
Why?
Got bad hearing,
It's
man.
English.
The sound quality of this is fucking terrible.
That's true. But yeah, no, it's another M80.
Okay, that makes more sense. There you go.
There you go. Problem solved.
Like, for ages, I was like, a long time, I'm like, what does that mean? Why is everyone laughing at
wow,
that?
this movie's so cryptic.
So yeah, the shooters, they show up into the lunchroom, and I think they say, yeah, that's right. Like Derek's like, "What's for lunch?" Pointing a gun at someone, and the car nerd kid like looks at him. He's like, "Duck."
God.
And then they shoot him in the head, and it's a fucking great effect.
The gore in this was actually surprisingly good.
Really good.
Yeah. Like the blood splats and the sprays and the bullet wounds, the holes, like they all looked quite good.
It's fucking full on. And yeah, like Hellfire, the director, talks about that in the commentary and the making of, that he wanted it to be like Dawn of the Dead level outrageous kind of
right.
And I think he really hits it. It's really nuts, the violence in this. So all of this stuff, all of this massacre stuff was shot in one day.
Wow.
And that's like fucking crazy amount of effects. And apparently people started to go kind of crazy when they were filming it. So they were like carrying around like, you know, some real guns and stuff. And there were a lot of kind of new people on the shoot. And they were, you know, as like the shooting's happening, some of the actors were kind of freaking out because they're like realizing how much this is just Columbine and they're like recreating it.
Yeah.
And the energy in the room, people started thinking it was real when they were shooting this. So this whole scene it's fucking crazy. It is so grim, and there's not really any jokes anymore. There kind of is, but it's really fucking weird. Like, it's very unsettling, all this stuff. So they're going around shooting random people. They shoot the Afro-American kid.
Oh, yeah. Who has black brains?
Who has, blue brains, right? Yeah. Which is, like, confirming that scene that they talked about before, which is just, like, a really weird moment.
Yeah.
Because you're getting all this, like, violent shooting, and then they just throw in, like, a weird thing like that. It's fucking crazy. And then the most fucked scene is Misty Monday's death.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Do you want to take us through that scene?
Oh, God. So they got Bible Girl, and, oh, man. So they have a rifle, essentially. One of them has a rifle. And they've got her at gunpoint. And the way that it's filmed, first and foremost, is very low. So she's there, like, pleading for her life. Filmed at a very low angle, so you can see right up her skirt.
Yeah, it's really
fucked. There's already that kind of, like, weird, violent, but sexual tone that's been made. So you can see her panties, everything, her, like, thighs are shaking in fear. And then he tells her to, like, start sucking the gun barrel.
Yeah.
So she starts filleting this gun barrel whilst it's being filmed very low, so you can see everything from down below. And she starts going at this gun barrel, and then he just pulls the trigger and blows her head off.
It's extremely fucked as well.
Yeah.
Like, when he shoots it, it's just like an explosion of blood.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's got all that really creepy kind of sexual element to it. So I guess that sort of comes from those, like, you know, fetishy kind of things.
But that's it. So that's her character. Like, not in this film, but she is that sexploitation character. So as someone who would have known her from outside of this film, they would have automatically associated her with that kind of film, that, like, sexual, violent kind of stuff. But in this film, up until that point, she had only played this goody two-shoes Bible character. So there's that added taboo.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. It's like, almost like pornographic, like the level it gets to, and it's so vicious. So apparently that was the scene that these other actors that weren't really involved with the shoot up until this point were, like, watching this, and they started to kind of, you know, freak out at what was happening and try to sort of protect, like, Misty Monday.
Oh, wow.
But the directors were like, no, she's, like, an actress. Like, she's on board with this, and she's
in on it.
Yeah, she's acting. Like, this is... Yeah, and apparently, that's right, the director as well. He was, like, giving directions while acting, and he had the big gun in his hand, and the gun went off by mistake.
Oh, no.
As well, so people were kind of freaking out. Yeah, apparently, some people were so convinced, like, got into this sort of weird state where they thought what was happening was real, and, like, they were, like, refusing to be killed in certain ways. So there was a scene where someone was supposed to be shot in the eye.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, no, don't shoot me in the eye. Don't shoot me in the eye. I need to be shot somewhere else. And they're like, it's a film. It's not real. This isn't real.
Yeah.
So, and it does have that fucking energy, that scene. It's, like, really... It's sort of the reason I chose this was from this point on. It's so fucking intense. So yeah, after all this sort of fucked up shooting, the news media shows up as well. And we get, like, kind of one of the main points, I guess, the directors were going for, which is this sort of critique of how the media handled Columbine, which is, when you look back on it now, it's crazy how, like, these days, I think the news has sort of adjusted the way they approach shootings. But at that time, it was this relentless, repetitive, like, re-showing of all this sort of fucked up shit and really dwelling on the killers and kind of, it was really twisted. So when the news media's there, the reporter who's, like, reporting it is like, it's so exciting. I mean, tragic. It's really intense.
So we have the interviews with all the local town folk and some guy who got shot but survived and ran out of the school. Which was the one that got replayed like 8, 9, 10 times, like on a loop.
Yeah, and it's sort of feeding into that Columbine, showing that footage over and over again. and the live feed footage that they had from, that shooting that the media just obsessed over, basically. Yeah. So now we're kind of getting into the scenes that were at the start of the film, basically.
Yeah.
Like the shooting. We get to see the fucking 911 operator with the stupid accent again.
That's one of the things which did not make any sense. So she's at her 911 operator desk, like doing her nails or something, watching TV, and cuts to the news broadcast. And the news broadcast is being filmed from within the school.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, fuck, it wasn't a prank call. Shit, I should call the army or something. It's like, wait, hang on, but there's not a camera in the school, is there?
Yeah. Well, I guess a lot of it doesn't make any sense.
Nothing makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so we get a bunch of the characters that we've seen get killed. Guitar Girl is shot.
Good.
Very violently. Explosion of blood. We see the principal goes in and tries to sort of save the day.
Yep.
And he holds a student in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
Shot. I love, like, the spam jock gets shot in the knee. And he's like, what does he say? He's like, I'll never be able to run again or something. Like, I can't run anymore. Like, all these kind of things. Even the wheelchair guy.
He gets shot. He gets it.
Poor guy.
That's it. He's the last one. They shoot him and then go home, don't they?
Oh, they don't go home.
So
did you stop watching the movie at this way? So after the wheelchair guy is shot, they, so the two shooters, Derwin and Derek, go into like a kind of broom closet.
I thought that was in their home.
It's not in their home.
Oh, okay.
No, so they're in a broom closet. And this is, I fucking love this scene so much. It's so fucking intense. And it kind of like, like this, I think a lot of the complaints about this film are to do with the focus on the killers, right? Like, they're the only characters that really have any kind of personality in this. And, it's a deliberate thing that they're doing to try and provoke people. But also, it is kind of, you can't really just treat school shooters as evil people, right? Like, there's more, there's a reason why people do this kind of thing. And I think, like, this scene is trying to humanize them in a way that's not, they're not like saying it's okay to do this, but it's kind of, I don't know. There's a realness to the scene that kind of shocked me quite a lot.
It's very real. And so they're in this like broom closet, and all of a sudden it gets very homoerotic, doesn't it? Yeah. Which was a scene, a mood that I was not expecting. The way they talk to each other, it's almost, it's like when you're a teenager and you're about to have sex, and that weird, awkward, like, exciting energy in the conversation. But it's, instead of, like, having sex, it's that lead up to them killing themselves.
Yeah, they're basically both putting guns in each other's faces.
Yeah.
And, it's like, it has, like, there's a sadness and, like, kind of, but also a kind of, as you said, almost like romantic, right?
Did you not get like a homoerotic vibe from it?
Not so much for me. It was more like, it was just like a sad kind of thing. Like, it was just this...
I was like, oh shit, love is in the air. What's going on? Like,
I think there is a romantic feeling to it, and like the friendship I could really feel. But yeah, basically they both put their guns at each other and they shoot each other, and it's like not played for laughs at all.
No,
like it's very.
I mean, sorry, I'm gonna say this was like gay from the get go, 100%, because they're just like quietly laughing at each other's jokes, and they like put each other's guns in each other's mouths. You know, it's like, they're sucking each other's guns. And it's almost like, oh no, you go first. They all right, let's count from 3. Who's gonna count? And there's like this incredible playfulness after the intensity that we just saw that makes it just it adds like a fun, exciting, playful, like innocent mood to the whole situation.
Definitely an innocent kind of thing, but I found it more just like upsetting because it's just like these guys didn't need to do this, and I think it's good that they moved away from like the humor for this scene because it makes it more, for me at least, like more shocking and kind of like affecting, right? So they shoot each other, and it's quite a fucked like shooting, right?
It's a good shooting,
blow their brains out. And then as they're sort of dying, their hands kind of hold each other, which was apparently unplanned, which is insane. Because like when you watch the scene, it feels like it couldn't end any other way.
That's mad.
Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah, to me, that scene is what elevates this to something actually really interesting. And again, like all the scenes that they've had together have that kind of sort of weird energy, right? Yeah, so there we go. They're dead. And then we go straight back into fucking stupid shit again.
Interviews with the townfolk.
Yeah, so the cops coming into the school and seeing the massacre and vomiting and stuff. One of the goth kids that we met earlier, like, walks in and the cop just shoots him, thinking it's one of the shooters, which is really fucked. I love, like, some of the comments on here, like, the principal's like, oh my god! He's, like, freaking out seeing all the dead bodies. He sees, like, one dead, like, guy holding a pencil. He's like, he's holding a pencil! Like, what homework assignment couldn't he finish?
Oh, fuck.
It's fucking ridiculous. And, we see the janitor character again. He's, like, set up a bomb.
Yeah.
He's about to blow up the school. Yeah, and then we just get, like, as you said, like, all these interviews with people talking about, like, what happened, and it's sort of, poking fun at, like, the way the media covered Columbine, basically. And
the mum is back. My spam. He loved my spam.
And that, do you know, the spam thing is, like, it's kind of interesting where that came from. Apparently there was an article about the Columbine victims, and they were all kind of, they had, like, their picture, and then underneath was, like, he loved his mum's pork chops.
Right.
It was, like, one person. That's all that people knew about that person. And then, like, she loved the Bible. And, like, that was kind of all of these fucking victims.
So that was, like, the basis of all these stereotypical characters.
Exactly. So that's why they sort of went for that kind of thing. Yeah, so we get all these, like, kind of wild reactions. We even get a guy talking about aliens, which is apparently another theory at the time, that aliens caused them to kill people.
Of course it was.
And basically, then we finally see, like, the sign of the, Carbine High, and a whole bunch of people, like, putting down, like, tributes after the shooting. And again, we're, like, seeing all these other kids, like, watching it and saying, like, oh, fuck, next time we should blow up our school and be on TV.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sadly, what's the word? It kind of predicts what happened after that, right?
Oh, yeah. But that's not it, though.
Is it not?
The what? The raincoat guy.
What about him? Oh, going into the toilet.
Yeah.
I forgot. And
then I feel like this is one of the most important parts of the film.
And the UFO?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
So the guy who I thought initially was from the future, who spoke to Baldy and Harry and was just like, you can't be wearing trench coats, it's too early. And then came back later and said, it's your time. Now is the time. So after the school had been massacred, the cleaner, raincoat guy, went into essentially a porta potty, right? It was like an outdoor toilet, and then took off in a UFO.
Yeah.
So the last scene is him flying away in a UFO, which I don't even know what to make of that.
But again, that's like them talking about this, like, all the ridiculous conspiracy theories that were going around at the time, which I didn't know. I had no idea that was something that was floating around.
Right. The fact that there was a UFO in this film, based on the school shootings, like,
it's pretty intense.
This was an exhausting watch. Exhausting, Dave.
I've now watched it 3 times. Because I watched it for the first time kind of recently, like maybe, 2 months ago. And I was, like, debating whether to do it for this. And then I watched it again, and then I watched it a third time with the commentary as well. But I already know that you don't like it.
Yeah, that's pretty safe to say, yeah.
But I don't know, for me, I don't think I can respond to this in a usual kind of, like, it's good or bad kind of way.
No.
I think it's unlike anything I've seen before in terms of how completely fucked up it is, and the way that it goes from having this, as you said, like, it's kind of shocking initially when you see, like, comedy sort of stuff. Like, what the fuck? Why are we getting comedy? But to me, that ultimately makes it more shocking as it goes on. And then we get that massacre scene, and there's such this kind of going between these horrible violent scenes and then these ridiculous lines and stupid jokes. It makes it kind of more, I don't know, I found it kind of weirdly powerful in a way. And then having, like William Hellfire and Joey Smack, their performances just have this kind of energy that feels really real. And the way they interact with each other, you can tell that they're really friends. And it makes those characters, much more interesting in a way that I just didn't expect putting this on. Yeah. Was there anything you liked about the film at all?
Was there anything I liked about it? Like you said, the energy between the two shooters, that was great and very genuine. I enjoyed the fact Misty Monday was in it, and the Mastodon drummer is also in it. I enjoyed that. That's probably it, to be honest.
Not even the massacre at the end?
The massacre... You know what, maybe this is just based wrongly on my own mispreconceptions. When I first heard there's a film that was made within the same year or released the year after of the school shootings, but based on the school shootings, I expected it to be a very exploitive take on that subject.
Yeah.
So I kind of went into it assuming that I'm going to see a very fucked up school shooting based film.
Yeah.
I was not expecting anything that I saw here.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to wait and wade through 70 minutes of shit dialogue, terrible songs, before getting to the actual shooting itself. So, did I enjoy this movie? No. I hated this movie so much. This is probably one of the worst hour and 40 minutes of my life I spent recently.
Fuck it up.
But, in a way, this film is kind of genius. Yeah.
What a review.
It's kind of genius in a sense, like, based on its timeline, based on all the different things that it managed to weave into the script, based on it being able to not take itself too seriously, but as well as be able to shock the audience during those important scenes.
Yeah.
I think, and like you said, the way that they handled and parodied the media at that time, I think all of those scenes were quite genius in themselves.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's not a good film, but I appreciate those scenes, and I think they did a good job to parody those scenes.
Yeah, it's hot. Yeah, you're right. It's you can't give it a good or bad label. I think like it's definitely not a good film in a traditional sense.
No.
And I was actually, when I first watched it, I had the same feeling as you. I was like, fuck this movie. This is so exhausting. And then when the last scene happened, I was really shocked by it. Like, genuinely unsettled in a way that not many movies can do with, for me. And then watching it the second time, I actually liked it. All those earlier scenes had, I don't know, there was something, it worked for me a lot more the second time.
Yeah.
Altogether as a whole. But yeah, it's a fucking weird film.
It is.
It should not exist.
This should not exist. This is the wrong movie.
Yeah. And actually getting to the old wrongometer.
Yeah.
For me, this is going to be my first 10.
Hey, we
because
did it.
This is 10 out of 10 on the wrongometer, because there should not be a movie about the Columbine Massacre. And if there was, this is the most insane version of what that movie could be. And it is so shocking and so fucking nuts, but also kind of, for me at least, like, it really had a lot of power for me. And, like, after watching it for the second time, I actually couldn't sleep that night.
Wow.
Because it really had messed with my head so much. How about for you on the wrongometer?
Yeah, if this was like, how good is this film, then...
Zero.
Zero. If I was trying to watch a shocking film, or if I was trying to watch a good film or a fun film, then things would rank differently. But the fact that, judging on how wrong this film is, Yeah, 10.
Oh,
We're going to have to give it a 10.
It's the first double 10.
It's a double 10. It's a 10. This film should not exist.
Fucking hell. Double 10.
It's a double 10. This film should not exist.
Oh, wow.
Is it good? No. Should it exist?
Is
no.
it good?
Shut the fuck up. This film fucking sucks. I hated this film so fucking much. It's wrong on all levels.
So we're saying 10 out of 10 for wrong and 10 out of 10 film in general.
Don't make me come over there and fucking smack you in the face, Dave.
All right. What's next week?
So, for next week, we will be watching Night Dreams. All one word.
Night Dreams.
Night Dreams. One word.
What is this film?
Well, it is not a film you will find on Netflix.
What year is it from?
81.
Where's it from?
That is a good question. I will have to get back to you on that.
Who's it by?
Francis Delia. You might find it on your favourite porn site, is all I will say.
Uh-oh.
So
we're
everyone,
doing porn next week.
We're doing porn. So everyone, lube up and join us for Night Dreams next week.
Lube up.
If you do enjoy these, then please follow us on Twitter. Share this with your family and friends, aunts and uncles, nuns and sons, priests,
nuns.
Because
Yes, our Twitter is SMSW podcast.
SMS.
Wait, is that what I said?
What did you say?
No, I said SMSW.
What does that mean?
Podcast. Show me something wrong.
Good.
Are you going to do that every episode?
Show me
What does that mean?
something wrong
Podcast.
at...
No. Go to Twitter. All right. Okay. Get on your computer.
All right.
Go to the search bar. Type in www.twitter.com.au
//
That's it. Just /. And then on Twitter, you're going to see a little search thing.
And then you do that.
See that? Get in that. Get in that.
Get in it.
Type in...
Get involved.
Type in SMSW.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Type in SMSW podcast.
Right.
POD. What does that say? CAST.
Show me some willies.
No. Show me something wrong. SMSW podcast. Hit that in the search, and then we're gonna pop up. Our logo is like a. It's like a. Can you describe our logo? It's like a black background. Something is.
It says "Show me something wrong,"
Yeah, it says,
Dave.
"Show me something wrong." The wrong's like a blue text.
There you go.
It's a bit distorted.
You'll find us if you want to.
Yeah, so do that, but also give it a bit of a share.
That's it.
Do a little share.
Show it a bit of love.
Do a rating.
Oh,
Do a review.
what? Oh, reviews.
On Apple Podcasts, I
Nice,
believe.
nice.
I don't know how to do it myself, but someone did it.
So, but it is possible.
Yeah, someone did a nice review. So thank you to that man that did that.
Thank you, man.
I believe his name is Quentin.
Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you, Quentin.
You're our biggest fan.
All right, we'll see you next time for Fuck Dreams, Night Dreams.
It's alright.
The computer is the best invention of all mankind.